let's hop into this college football playoff recap. Electric first round. It really was. And I understand we had two bad games with the JMU Tulane or JMU and Tulane, the G5 schools. Obviously, they're gonna change it. Like that's the beauty of this new format is that as like things happen, like last year was like, okay, the four, like this shouldn't be the first, it shouldn't be all conference winners that get buys. They made the adjustment and now it's way better. We don't have a team like what, but didn't Boise State have a bye last year? Like the four best teams, I think, have buys this year. That's way better. We also understand now that the seeding, the way that they did, like the four highest ranked conference champions, well, nobody expected the ACC to take an absolute shit, so that your fourth and fifth ranked highest conference champion is actually a two G5 schools. Like nobody thought that would happen. They're going to amend that. I assume they would. And I think we have to let at least one G5 team in. I don't hate that at all. But it has to be, the criteria needs to be stricter for how that G5 team gets in. And I shouldn't say we need one, but they need to be undefeated. Number one, they can't have any losses on their resume, and they need to have a win, at least one win or two wins against a Power Four team, and a legitimate like ranked opponent. Maybe, I don't know. They need to be undefeated. Should be the number one criteria, and then they also have to pass the eye test. That's got to be the category, the criteria for a G5 team to get in. Because honestly, as good as that Oklahoma Alabama game was, and as good as that Texas A&M Miami game was, which for a 10-3 ball game, I was pretty entertained the whole time. It left you thinking like, what could have been if we got Texas, Oregon, and we got Notre Dame, Ole Miss, like that. Like the games were good. Like I enjoyed the first round of the college football playoff, but it felt like there was more to be had from an entertainment standpoint. The committee obviously knows that, and people give the committee a lot of shit. And I was one of them. I thought Miami had no business being in. There's another example. Obviously, I was wrong. They beat Texas A&M. They're a damn good football team. They have one of the best trenches in all of sports. I forget their other DN's name. He's a beast too. But Ruben Bain's a monster. Their other defensive end is a monster, and their offensive line imposed its will. Carson Beck wasn't under too much pressure all day. He sucks. He just really sucks. And their offensive line imposed their will in the run game as well. Like Texas A&M led the country in sacks, tied with Oklahoma, who we'll get into later, and they only sacked Carson Beck 2 times. Just Carson Beck, he stinks. He sucks. Ohio State, I think, is going to have their defense is going to have some problems. Matt Patricia's licking his chops looking at Carson Beck. And the Achilles heel for Texas A&M's defense all season long was their run game, and Fletcher had an absolutely incredible day. I was thinking to myself as this game was going on, like, why isn't Miami running the ball more? As a Texas A&M stan, as a Texas A&M better, I was scared. I was like, they need to just be running the ball every single play. They're getting 5 yards to carry with Fletcher. And eventually that's what it was down the stretch. But like, why didn't they just commit to the run game earlier? It was working the entire time. Carson Beck basically should be no, that's disrespectful to Carson Wentz, honestly, to compare him to Carson Beck. He shouldn't have thrown the ball 20. They shouldn't have thrown the ball 10 times. They should have ran the ball with Fletcher every single play. And I think they would have genuinely scored 24 points. Like that's how dominant this run game was. He was averaging 10 yards a carry. They didn't have an answer. They didn't want to tackle him. And Texas A&M has been bad against the run. Against Arkansas, they gashed them. Arkansas, worst teams in the SEC, worst teams in Power 4. They ran all over A&M. Notre Dame ran all over A&M. Their weakness was their run defense. I don't know why that wasn't the plan and why it took Miami so long to get Fletcher going on the ground. But obviously, we have to talk about Marcel Reed, and he is included in my Hot Take Tuesday, so I won't talk too much on him. Bad day for Marcel Reed. Obviously, the fumble, the 2 interceptions, both were bad. But I think I'm just romanticizing the flashes that you see with him, man, and you really do see the flashes. Like the deep ball accuracy all season was pretty electric, man. It really was. It's just the short to intermediate stuff. He just gets so sloppy. He misses bad. His processing needs to get faster. He needs to get to the second read faster, but he's so good with his legs. He's so good escaping the pocket. He has the arm strength. He has the arm angles. It's just the little accuracies. Accuracy is like, it's not a you have it or you don't with accuracy. That is fundamental. That is development. Like you can get accurate. You can get more accurate. You can throw with more anticipation. Like those are things that can be learned. Those aren't traits. Marcel Reed has traits. Deep ball accuracy is the hardest thing to hone in on, and he has it. He has the arm. He has the elusiveness. He is Jaden Daniels 2.0, just not as accurate. But that was the thing. I'll save that for my Hot Take Tuesday spiel. Marcel Reed played his worst 2 games of the year in the last 2 Texas A&M games against Texas and against Miami, but he had them right in an opportunity. Oh, they were so close, man. They were so close. And he's been clutch all season. He was clutch against Notre Dame. He was clutch against South Carolina. And that second half against South Carolina was genuinely one of the best halves of college football I've seen a quarterback play. He was legitimately perfect after a horrible first half. I just love this kid. I do. Like the ceiling is so there. Like he's only 21. He's a sophomore. Like the ceiling is so high for him. If he can just develop one more year of development, I think he can. I'll save it for Hot Take Tuesday. I really do like Marcel Reed. I'm not done. I'm not giving up on him. Everybody's on his dick right now, and that's fine. Mario Craver is disgusting, by the way. He's a sophomore. He did say he'll be back at Texas A&M. That guy's ridiculous. I think he's listen, there's the kid in Auburn. You have obviously Jeremiah Smith. Who knows what's up with with Mario Craver right now? There's a bunch of guys in that receiving class, the 2027 class. Mario Craver's up there with the best of them. Obviously, well, I guess I shouldn't say that because he's not up there with Jeremiah Smith, but he's up there with the best of them, minus excluding Jeremiah Smith. He is a fucking problem with the ball in his hands. His route running is underrated. He's obviously not a contested catch guy. He's like 5'10". He needs to put on a little bit more weight so he can catch those balls, make a living over the middle of the field, get the ball in open space. Like if this guy finds his way into like a Shanahan or a McVay scheme, or even like a Ben Johnson scheme where he's going to get schemed open all the time, like or a Tanner Engerstrand type of offense where he's going to get schemed open all the time and he's going to get the ball in open space. Look the fuck out, because I think that guy is going to be a real steal in a couple of years if he can continue to develop. Again, only 20 years old. He was 2 yards. He had 2 less yards on the year than Casey Concepcion, who just declared for the NFL draft. He's projected to be probably a day 2 pick, maybe late day 1 pick. So he had 2 less yards in him, and he's a sophomore. So this guy's a real problem. He led Texas A&M in receiving in the college football playoff. So he's a real problem. He's coming back for another year. Ruben Owens, Le'Veon Moss, I think they're coming back. They needed more out of their running backs in this game as well. Shout out, tip your hat to Miami's run defense. They're going to have their hands full next week with Bo Jackson and company. Good win for Miami. I mean, their defense played well. I just don't trust this offense against Ohio State. But they do, like, if anybody has the guys to block Ohio State, it definitely is Miami. I think they have the best offensive line in the country. Yeah, they're probably like they're good in the trenches, but they're skill players. Just Malachi Tony had the fumble. Shout out Malachi Tony for like bouncing back after that fumble and scoring the touchdown. He's such a well-spoken kid for being 18 years old. Like in the post-game interview, that guy's gonna be a stud. That guy's gonna be a first-round pick. I'm curious to see if Miami will keep him around. I don't see why they wouldn't. He's probably. I mean, he's one of the best freshmen I've ever seen. Respectfully, yeah. But then again, keep in mind, guys, I didn't start watching college football until really this was the first year in my life where I really watched like a lot of college football, because when I was in college at West Virginia, I was at the games all the time, or I was getting drunk, so I wasn't as locked in. But I did watch a lot of college football. Obviously, like away games, I wasn't fully, but every home game, so every other week, or basically every other week per average, I'm not locked in to the full slate. And then before college, when I was in high school, I went to high school in the Northeast. Like I would tune into the big games, but I wasn't dialed because one, I was doing stuff on Saturdays, and two, it's just that it's different. It's different in the Northeast. Like we're not as diehard about our college basketball as we are about the NFL. Like it's definitely NFL is king. But as I've discovered, the more soft you get, the more college football has become king. And listen, I used to be firmly in the NFL is better than college football. I still think that, but college football is electric, man. It's so much fun. So it's just awesome. Like I'm happy that I've gotten really fully into it this season. But that's why I say like Marcel Reed's one of the best halves I've ever seen by a quarterback, like against South Carolina. Keep that in mind. Well, I mean, Hendon Hooker against Bama was also crazy. And Joe Burrow, I did watch some Joe Burrow too. So I guess that's not true. But recently, that was really it was incredible. And then like best freshman I've ever seen, Malachi Tony. I didn't watch a whole lot of nasty freshmen because I wasn't as locked in on a week to week basis. So keep that in mind with everything I say. If you're thinking to yourself, what the fuck? Like I didn't even know how the old college football like format worked before BCS. Like I didn't know that. That they would just choose a national champion. Like I didn't know that until I went to the House of Highlights and I was talking to this guy and I was like, yeah, I don't even know how it used to work. Yada yada yada. Whatever. I'm rambling, but keep in mind with all my college football takes, I'm still relatively new to the college football landscape. So yeah, good win for Miami. College football playoff win their first college football playoff win. They got their work cut out for them against Ohio State. JMU, Oregon. Shout out JMU for covering. Dante Moore is a dog. The Oregon offense didn't have a drive with more than 5 plays in the first half. They were up 34-6 at half. Dante Moore has all the intangibles: the poise in the pocket, the accuracy on the run, the pocket presence, the escapability. He's not the craziest athlete, but he has the arm angles. He has the makings if he can continue to play well against some of the elite defenses like Texas Tech, if he beats Texas Tech against Oregon or Ohio State. Like he has the chance to play himself into a top 5 pick, dare I say the number 1 overall pick over these next few games. And I think he has the talent to be able to do it. I doubt he goes back to school, even though that Oregon budget is ridiculous. If he plays himself into a top 10 pick, there's no NIL budget that can pay what a top 10 pick is going to get paid in the NFL. And the only thing that can happen if you're going to be a top 10 pick is you sell your stock. And you don't want to do that. And I think Dante Moore is a dog. He was carving up JMU. And yes, it's JMU. They're still a ranked opponent. They were in the college football playoff. Like, it's not just your normal G5 team. That was evident in the second half where they won the second half. They scored more points than Oregon did. Like, they're not complete bums. And he did it against USC as well. Like, he's done it. He did it against Penn State as well. Like, he did it against 4 and 5 star talent all season, Indiana game excluded. But yeah, like, do not sleep on Dante Moore. I think he could play himself into a top 5 pick with these games upcoming. Tulane, Ole Miss, didn't watch it. NFL was on, but I knew Tulane never stood a chance. I think Ole Miss has a better chance than a lot of people think against Georgia, which I said last week. Trinidad is a dog, and Kawan Lacey is also a piece as well. Oklahoma 24, Bama 34. You gotta respect Bama's resilience. Everybody said they didn't belong for losing 3 games and losing in the fashion that they did to Georgia in the SEC championship game. They responded in a very impressive way after falling back down 17-0. Ty Simpson looked great. Once he got settled in, he had some dots on that like long touchdown throw. The Jeremy Bernard catch was just ridiculous. And Bama looked very good against a very good Oklahoma team. They scored 28 points on offense against one of the best defenses in football. And Ty Simpson wasn't under too much pressure all night. He still did get sacked 4 times, but that's way less than he got sacked the first time he played Oklahoma. Way less. I mean, actually, no, I think he got sacked more in this game, but he was under pressure way more in that first Oklahoma game, which caused for it was really just 2 or 3 mistakes in that first game that really cost Bama. Good win on the road in Oklahoma in a college football playoff environment. That's just, can't say enough about how Alabama responded after all the hate. They were not hate, but just like they put up a stinker. They laid an egg in the SEC championship. I do gotta say though, my one like grievance with Bama is how they finished that game, because in the fourth quarter, Oklahoma did miss a field goal, and if they made that field goal, they missed 2 field goals in the fourth quarter. Alabama had 2 chances in the fourth quarter to run a 4-minute offense, drain the clock, ice the game, and they kept giving Oklahoma opportunities. They got within. It was a 36-yard field goal. If they make that really applies to pressure. The next series for Alabama was a 3-and-out. And if Oklahoma did make that first field goal, then it's all they need is a touchdown. To 1-possession game. They wouldn't have attempted the second field goal if it was a 1-possession game, if they made the first one. So Alabama, with 2 chances in the fourth quarter, opportunities to lean on their 4-minute offense, which leans on running the football, which has been the number 1 problem, the number 1 red flag with Alabama all season, is their inability to run the football. Against Oklahoma, in the fourth quarter, they had 2 chances to really operate a 4-minute offense, 3-and-out, Oklahoma missed field goal, 3-and-out, Oklahoma missed field goal. You do that against a team like Indiana, where if you have a lead like Indiana and you need a 4-minute offense, Indiana's won close games all season long. So I would be worried if you're a Bama fan just about their inability to run the ball down the stretch and their 4-minute offense. But I think their passing game, when Ty Simpson is on, is as good as any passing game in the country, realistically. Like, we saw that on that stretch of games where I think they went Vanderbilt, Mizzou. I forget, not South Carolina, because they didn't even play that good against South Carolina. Either way, that you know the stretch of games where they ranked opponent, Tennessee. I think it was Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Mizzou. Body. And Ty Simpson was just dotting, spraying the ball across the field. We know what this Ryan Grubb offense can be through the air, but we don't know what it has on the ground. And I think that'll be their Achilles heel against Indiana if they're up in that game. If they're losing in that game, I don't know. I think they could come back against a team like Indiana. D'Angelo Paz really, like, they have, Indiana's a good secondary. They do have a good secondary, but I like Jeremy Bernard. Ryan Williams has been a ghost, really. I'm gonna say the other guy Thornton is pretty good, so we'll see. I think that's a good matchup. I like Indiana, but I think Bama might have a chance to cover. Might have a better chance than a lot of people think.